is Michelle Ellis. I am married, mother of two, and with a personality type that is steadfast and influential. I have been in the tourism industry for the last 4 years officially as the owner and founder of Matty's Resort Inn. But my experience with tourism has been for the last, I would say, about 20 years or so. But officially, the last 4 years have been the power pack years as I push with the resort and creating experiences for individuals.
I am a lifelong learner. I'm an educator, confidant, success coach, and strategist. I'm an author, a cheerleader, and a friend. I am a woman, and I'm here to share the stories of women in their roles as professionals and entrepreneurs. Through these discussions, we share about achievements and challenges experienced along their entrepreneurial journey. So, too, we share strategies that have proven to be successful in their own lives. I am Alina Lewis, and I know you will be encouraged by this woman's story.
Able to balance having kids and running a business and seeing the results and being encouraged by them, that has been my greatest achievement. When I first started on this journey in the field of tourism, I didn't just want to create service. Everybody was doing service. I wanted to have also an experience for individuals. And the minute that I was able to do that, and I got my first 5-star rating and I got my first commendation, I was really encouraged and I said, I have to improve on this service. And so it was both a product and a service. And so that made me really, really proud about my investment and about my investment in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of my energy, right? And there was a place where I could actually be myself, which is bringing interior decorating and smaller, all of the soft skills that I think I possess, right? Just yesterday, I was having a conversation with a prospective guest who said to me that just the way that I spoke with him, there was no way he was going to take his business anywhere else.
Michelle Ellis creates experiences that helps customers connect with their sense of self. Through Matty's Resort Inn, Michelle connects, provides, supports. More than just a beach house, more than just a guest house. Matty's Resort Inn stands as a place for husbands, wives, families, individuals, small groups of friends to go, connect, disconnect, reconnect, find themselves, rest and relax. And certainly for Michelle, these are more than just slogans, but a way of being, a way of life. As she endeavors to help persons connect with themselves and engage health, wholeness, and wellness.
Yes, it's important for me to create a space for individuals to participate, right? And to find themselves. You see, what is happening is that a lot of people they just live. They wake up and then they do, and then they wake up again and they continue doing. But I think what Matty's Resort Inn represents is a pause, right? It's a pause so people can rejuvenate, they can find meaning in life as they interact with nature, People have asked, oh, do you have a pool? Do you have a pool? And I always say, I put hashtag no pool, no pool. I make sure to put that in our ads. We have a garden, but more importantly, we have the beach, and you can practice grounding, walk, touch, feel the sand between your toes, look at the beach, breathe in the fresh air, connect with nature. And for all our guests who have come and have had that opportunity, they're very thankful. Some people never leave the space that we've created because they say it's so beautiful, and we've rested and we've relaxed. I remember one guy coming from Penal, and he said to me, I have to tell you that I never left the apartment. I don't know what Mayaro actually looks like, but I'll be back. And he said, that he rested and he relaxed and he enjoyed his time. So, and that's the kind of commendation and experience that I want people to have. So my greatest achievement would be creating that space, one, investing, as I said, my time and my energy and my money, but also more importantly, being able to apply all of my soft skills and looking at my kids who've been supportive of me, watch the journey, because we've taken it together. Every sacrifice that has had to be made, they have also been a part of it, you see. And that's why I'm encouraged, and I started off by saying they are my greatest achievement, because they have seen how entrepreneurs build and grow, and they have been, my collaborators, so to speak.
Her courage comes from her great desire to be that example for her kids, to leave a legacy for her children.
I'm very optimistic about how life can improve, as a result of the experience. So I try to combine so many things as I engage my guests, as I look at myself, as I try to develop. I'm always doing courses, right? In the hospitality and tourism sector, courses now, particularly now with this, with COVID, we've had to do a number of health and safety courses through Costa, through with CARFA, with Ministry of Tourism, through the Trinidad Tourism Limited. So there's this constant self-improvement, and I apply all of that to my space. My husband is there with me, very supportive and understanding. And as I mentioned before, so are my kids, you see. So it's kind of like creating a legacy for them and building and developing myself throughout the process. So I'm learning so much. I have joined a number of associations and so on, and affiliations. So that way I can have exposure to strategies and techniques to improve on the quality of what I deliver. Um, and I think that in essence, right, that combination, it sets the tone for my professional life as it is right now, tied in this industry. But on a very personal note that underlies all of that, I am able to spend a lot of time, with God, talking and learning and growing on a spiritual level, and developing a sense of discernment as to what is needed to be done to improve the quality. I think it informs really how everything I do operates. You see, so I center myself first, and then I build with those around me. And I'm not prejudiced to whatever people bring. I take that in, and I'm able to discern, okay, what is right for me, what is not needed at this time. Because I feel that if somebody shares something with you, particularly my family members, particularly my husband, that is necessary information for me to build on. Maybe not at this point, and it may not be relevant or applicable in this situation, but certainly it's worth paying attention to, because it will form part of the success story that I'm trying to build.
Competent, dependable, sincere, enthusiastic, action oriented, results driven. These are all words that can effectively describe today's guest. Certainly, she has a passion to enhance her effectiveness as she completes tasks and improves her relationships with others.
first started the business 4 years ago, the first thing I printed under the requirements, of course, of the then Bureau of Standard, which was the regulatory authority for us under the Ministry of Tourism, they said you must have complaint forms, right? And so I printed about 4 or 5 because I didn't expect to have any complaints, right? I wanted to do it right the first time. And then I did a little evaluation card that I would put with each guest registration. What ended up happening was that the person who was printing said, you can't print 4 or 5 cards, you have to print a stack. So I said, okay, go ahead. And so he did like about 100 or so. So I would have, a supply. In the 4 years, one was filled. And it was filled by a person who said, you need to go green, right? No styrofoam. And that was the complaint, which, and at that time, we weren't really in this mode of thinking about our environment in that way. But it was noteworthy. So we made those adjustments in terms of the, I passed that information on to the caterer, of course, so that, they can make their changes and so on. And that was the only complaint that we had, that we were at the time using styrofoam and not, what is now considered to be the needed product. So I listen, you see, and I've always been listening, right? People are talking about quality of comfort. A guy said to me, gosh, the mattresses are so soft and so on. So I'm making sure that they always are soft, the sheets are always clean. So I listen. That's one thing. And I'm very open to sharing with individuals. I give them options, I give them alternatives. I think this has really just me being authentic, being very open with guests and prospective guests, right? And let me tell you something, there's nothing like integrity, because when people see pictures on Facebook or I send them pictures via WhatsApp, and then they come and they experience exactly what you sent to them, it builds a quality relationship, right? That is very meaningful. So that has helped, you see. My friends too, who are supporting, who are sharing, they trust that what I tell them is what it is because of my particular strength. I've been there for them, I'm there with them. And so they help also to promote and to help me build the business. I cannot obviously do it alone, but I have a very trusted circle of friends, and then I have my inner circle. And because of my personality, because I'm also an influencer, in my own little way, right? It has helped, I think, to move my business forward, because people associate the name with the business. And if I call the hardware and I say, listen, I'm not there, but I would like you to arrange so this person is coming on my behalf, they say, no problem, Miss Ellis. Once it's you, it's good. You're good to go. So that over the years, I find it has helped in terms of pushing the business forward. There isn't much that I can do with a bed and breakfast except provide a bed, and coffee, tea, juice, and so on. But the quality of the offering, you understand, it's really, at the end of the day, it's the coffee that goes in the cup, but you can choose a type of cup that would make people happy. And to do that, you have to know what it is that people prefer, and you have to listen. And I've been willing to do that, right? I've kept all of the cards with where people provide all of the excellent ratings, and I want to keep that. I want to maintain that, you see. And I feel like just having that type of personality augurs well with the type of business that I'm doing. It's hospitality, you see. So I think I'm in the right field. It's perfect for me, given how I live and how I practice my business.
Quite often, many entrepreneurs find that the service they desire to offer is quite different from the traditional version that other competitors have to give. Michelle found herself in a similar position where the base of her offering was unconventional. something different and unexpected from what is typically expected of a guest house in Mayaro. Her response? Finding the niche.
Getting started has been the most challenging. When I started the business in 2016, I just started with an idea of offering a service that was different to what was already being offered in Mayaro, right? I mean, everybody knew the popular names of those other guest houses and beach houses and so on. And I thought to myself, I wanted to create this space that was cozy, a space that was comfortable, a space that was clean, a space that reflected style and care for people in terms of their mental health, their physical health, and giving them that opportunity to connect with nature. So herein, you know, lay the challenge. What was I going to offer? So I conceptualized an inn, because an inn is like it's a mini hotel, but it's cozy and people have their space and their independence. So the first time, I had a guest and I prepared for them. My first guest had come in from Tobago, you see, and I was so nervous because I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder, Tobago is the home of, tourism, right? And what were they going to think? And they said to me, this is excellent, coming to Trinidad. They didn't expect to find anything like this. And it was so homely and so cozy. And I said, right, here we go. Homely and cozy. That's going to be my thrust. So just like home. And so setting up was first was very difficult for me. The other thing that, of course, it was whether or not I was going to be able to draw a crowd of people, right? To create a niche market for myself, given, what everybody knew to be Mayaro is beach house, and I decided I was going to take the risk to pitch only for couples and very small groups. So it's a family with 2 kids, no problem. 3 kids, right? And that was it. And I cut off at that point couples, and I started pushing for couples. At first, there was a response here and a response there, and I thought maybe I had failed, because people weren't. And then so eventually a couple came and they stayed and they enjoyed it, and they said this was really a nice getaway, and they were able to build their relationship, and I was very encouraged by it, you see. And then after a while, once I was clear in my own head where the direction that I wanted to go, this was my niche market. And so what happened was just couples just started coming after that, and then I had to tweak it a little bit, because you had couples who, for example, I had one couple, the guy was in the military. So he said, I might be off today. And my girlfriend, my wife, sorry, at the time, his wife, yeah, he said, she and I have to get a time, when I'm off and she can come. And I said, don't worry, I'm opening this block of space for you. So whenever you are able to come, you can. And he was surprised that somebody would do that, especially making a booking and so on, right? And so I tried to make it flexible, and there was a risk involved in that too, because now making it flexible, what if somebody else called, so many things I had to tweak along the way, and provide a system and a structure, right? And then the other challenge was payment, because I don't necessarily live on the premises, right? And how would I get people there and get them there safely, make sure that they had a good experience? What are some of the things that could go wrong on the premises while I'm not there, and so on. So, and guests wanted to meet me. So I decided I had to come up with a way for us to chat, for me to know my guests before, So I started using WhatsApp, my first, introduction to real technology there. And we would talk and chat, and so we sent contracts through via WhatsApp and so on. And it actually worked, So in that very short space of time, I had established one, my niche market to the form of interaction and payment with all the rules and the laws and discussion, and being flexible in terms of allowing for bookings and for extended time and that kind of thing. So those were real challenges, and I couldn't have anticipated that setting up the business. And the last thing was getting people to understand grounding and just that time away with nature, because everybody calls. I would have 10 calls, and of the 10, 7 would say, do you have a pool? You know, and I said, did you check our Facebook page? Did you check our website? It says we have no pool. We have a garden, but we do encourage people to, spend time with nature, rest, relaxation, grounding. Some people say, okay, no, thank you, click, and they hang up. Other people will say, great, who needs a pool when you have a beach that is self-cleaning and so on. And now during this particular, period in Earth history, people say, we're thankful for the beach because there's so much opportunity for social distancing, and so on. So that had, just strategizing, marketing around no pool seemed to be, it consumed me for a very long time, because I have none and I have no intentions of putting one, you see. Because I do honestly, I had to ask myself a moral question. Do you believe? And I do believe that people should spend time with nature. You understand? And that they should practice grounding and connect and find peace. And when you sit on the beach, because I've done it, and because I've tried to walk through the experience to see, and I sit on the beach, the wind is blowing in your hair, and you just calm, and that the waves, they hit the shore and they go back, and sometimes you see all these little crabs or whatever. It really relaxes you. So I've been trying, to push that as part of the whole package of the experience. So yeah, those were real challenges for me at the start of the business. But I think once you get past, your systems, putting systems in place, and establishing who your ideal client is, right? I think everything else works now on autopilot, because over the years I've built a lot of referrals, a lot of returning guests, so, and I've built friendships as well, good relationships with past guests. Um, so that, yes, that has been my journey thus far.
Meticulous about details, Michelle embraces success as she gives focus to the needs, feedback, desires of her clients. Michelle's strategies for success? Simple. Write it down. That's her base point. Writing it down, following protocol, and being mindful of the needs of guests at all times.
Three strategies. One would be to write down what I have to do given a particular day, week, month, right? So I write it down each day, even if I know in my head, um, these are the things that I want to do. I still write them down, so that when I'm at the end of the day, when I can sit down and cross them out, there's a sense of accomplishment or a sense of achievement. So that's one. Two, I have prepared my checklist for how procedurally how I want the space to be clean and kept. So I'm able to check through and make sure that it is the standard. I don't leave anything to chance. Like so, and especially now that people's health and safety is on the line, right? Now this space is always clean. It has always been clean. But even now with, sanitizing, um, so you wipe, you spray, you dust. There's a whole procedure for doing that. It's almost like a protocol, right? I prepared checklists for that as well, right? So that I know that that is taken care of when it's signed off. And the other thing is, in terms of strategy, I'm always mindful that the client, the prospective guest, right, has is the one who is paying me to provide an experience for them. So I give to that person respect, and I offer truthfully as much as I can with respect to where um, they will be staying, what is going to be happening, right? In fact, I created a little a PDF, right, with all the little instructions and so on, because questions people ask all the time. So once we confirm on the booking, I send them that so that they can read through and be comfortable, right? But I'm always mindful. My guest is the one who is paying me, not to be subservient, you understand, but they're paying me to provide an experience, and we are now partners, right? This business transaction creates partnership, and it's a partnership of equal. You're paying for a service that I'm going to provide, and when you come, I am going to wow you because it's going to be even more than you would have expected. So I'm always mindful to do those three things every time the phone rings. um, Hello, it's the same voice constant, as the Bible says, in season and out of season, right? And then writing down my activities, my items to do, for the day, and then of course going through the checklist procedure so that everybody is safe. That has worked for me. It is working for me, and of course, on an aside, if I don't write down the things I have to do, I'll forget. So, yeah.
For each entrepreneur, strategies for success may very well vary. For some, it's about an internal journey towards evolution. For others, about connecting and networking. For Michelle, it's about process. And her process is simple: write it down. Write it down and follow protocol. Build a protocol for following that is based on the needs of the clientele. This way, it's always about the consumer. It's always about her guest. Because when her guest is happy, Michelle is fulfilled.
2021, we are again to be certified by Trinidad Tourism Limited through Bureau Standards. So we're going back onto the TTIC program, and I am excited about that. And also because of our training through CARFA, we are expecting our Safe Tourism stamp, which will assure all of visitors, foreign visitors in particular, that our space is um, a healthy, safe environment for them to come and enjoy rest and relaxation in. So that's major for me. Also, we have a number of packages that we're putting together for the different periods, particularly given our no carnival season. I'm sure that a lot of people will be looking for spaces to go to. So we want to make sure that we have affordable packages that we're going to put together, and we will put those up on our social media platforms. And of course, in our next in interviews such as this, we would be happy to share once we've finalized, um, costs of putting these together. So we will know what it is that we will be marketing directly.
Surely, great things are ahead for Matty's Resort Inn.